Andrew. We will now go to the question and answer portion of our program. We have, as I introduced them earlier, a number of our Cornell tech staff and faculty member here to answer whatever questions that you might have. Hopefully we'll be able to answer them, but if not, we will get back to you with an answer in the very near future. So if you have questions, please go to the microphone. Sandra will be at the microphone taking your questions, and then we will have, we'll be happy to answer them. Let's, if you wouldn't mind stating, because it's sort of helpful, where you live on Roosevelt Island, what building, if you live on Roosevelt Island, what building you live in, and then if you could just maybe ask one question for now, and then if we have time, we can go back and ask another one later. So, Sandra, you can go ahead.
Hi, my name is Aaron Hamburger, and I guess I'm representing RERA. I live at 455 Main Street, that's in the Riverwalk complex. My question is going to shift the focus. I just learned secondhand tonight that there's a major developer who's working on a project in Long Island City, opposite the Cornell campus. And Cornell has been consulting or whatever with this same developer. And the key thing is, this project, this project envisions a pedestrian bridge across the East River, the east part of the East River, from Cornell campus to this Long Island City complex. My question is this true, A, and B, if this bridge is installed, what's going to be the impact on the campus, and what's going to be the impact on Roosevelt Island?
Okay, that's a great question. So let me clarify. It is true that there is a development group working on a plan of that sort that's been reported in publicly. It's not true that we've consulted with them. We've met with them. They presented the project to us and said, "What do you think?" And I think that we were quoted pretty accurately in the media saying, "We are in favor of any additional connections to Roosevelt Island, but we defer to the community on Roosevelt Island and to the community in Long Island City as to whether they think this development is appropriate and in the right place and all of that." So, you know, we're very interested to see what happens with it, but we're certainly not in a position to say we want this and here's where it should be.
Hi, my name is Nina Lublin. I'm the president of the Roosevelt Island Jewish Congregation. Don't sit down yet. Well, actually, you can sit down for a minute. I'm a 32-year resident of the island, and first I want to thank everybody. I'm very happy I came tonight because for me, it's sort of an update on some unfinished business, particularly issues around the school. I was happy to see Gail here because I think the last time I heard anything about our school was at the city council meeting where I think I challenged some of you to what you were going to do about the school. And one thing I would recommend is a little more information about how families are being engaged. I'm hearing about the teachers and stuff you're doing with the children. I'd like to hear a little bit more, not tonight, about what's going on with parents. The other thing I'd like to hear a little bit more about is that we are an island of many children, including high schoolers and children under the age of 5. So while there's pre-K here, ISPS 217 is not the only pre-K here on the island. There are many, many other children and families hoping or waiting to be engaged to learn about the work that you're doing, okay? Maybe at the next meeting we'll hear a little bit more about how some of the community organizations are actually going to be part of the campus that opens in 2017. That's another bit of slightly unfinished business. But what I do want to talk to you about tonight is safety. Safety for pedestrians. Safety for the people who are working on and using Main Street. My neighbor and dear friend Judy is going to talk to you in a few minutes, but I want to remind all of you and some of our representatives here from REAC that even though I am thrilled that we have less truck traffic and I'm not seeing 40-foot tractor trailers on Main Street, what I am seeing during the day is speeding vehicles who can barely slow down for the construction work that's going on the center core of Main Street, even with flagmen who probably could use some better equipment. I'm out early in the morning when they arrive, and they are doing way more than 15 miles an hour as kids are leaving for school and people are going to work and crossing the streets. They are slowing down somewhat during the day when the construction is going on. And, you know, I'm not sure what's here at night. I do hear trucks, you know, early at 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes. So can you tell me what you guys are going to be able to do to kind of ameliorate that?
Yeah, I mean, that situation is not acceptable to us. We meet with REAC every week. We're very close with Jack, and you know, certainly Steve meets with him all the time. We have weekly meetings with our contractors and our construction management team under Tishman to remind all of the suppliers and the subs and the drivers what the rules are. We actually have a handout that we give to all the drivers who come onto the site. We have also, there are a few drivers who are not allowed onto the site anymore, and we also encourage REAC and the community to get in touch with us directly to let us know through pictures or through descriptions which truck, what time, all of that. You know, we're not a police force, but we do employ these people, and they have to follow the rules, and whatever help we can get from you to identify these people and to keep them off the site, we will do that. We take this very seriously. We understand the concerns, and you know, we're going to try to help in whatever way we can with that.
Well, like I said, particularly with the work that's being done on the, you know, the core of Main Street, especially between 8 and 6 every day, it's, you know,
Right.
It's no man's land.
Right. No, we understand that, and we're trying to work with Jack and you know, try to solve that.
I think you know who I am. You heard from me on Tuesday, Andrew. There was a movie shoot, your construction workers, and an out-of-control vehicle from the site that was by the tram station and the kiosk. If anyone wants to see the daily activity, you're welcome to sit on the terrace of the visitor center kiosk and watch the antics going on. This vehicle was going east, right by the tram station, with some kind of bucket hanging from it. It was some kind of earth-moving equipment. He went so fast that he hit a lamppost at Firefighters Field, and I'm standing there and the lamppost is swaying in the breeze. He also tore down an overhead wire there. You have these little 2-man vehicles that do not have license plates and are probably not supposed to be off the site, circumnavigating the site all day, with usually 1 or 2 of your, I presume, supervisors in it. It is treacherous. Between the traffic coming around from Main Street to drop off people in the white bus or the red bus, people running across from the tram to get on the bus because it must be the last bus on earth, but this is a Roosevelt Island thing, because the buses cannot pull up to the right side, to the correct side of the street. It has just become a site that is going to get somebody dangerously killed or injured or maimed there. We must have cameras. You are welcome to put a camera on the kiosk. I want a camera there. I want a camera at the tram. I want cameras facing every place that your vehicles go. Because unfortunately, we're only open a few hours a day, but this goes on. Your security people are very busy chatting at the security booth, but they're not doing anything for safety. Public safety doesn't do very much either. I think that all our politicians on our RIC committee must insist that any place that is an intermingling of your property and Roosevelt Island and New York City property must have cameras that are recording what is going on. It's the only way you're going to get these drivers off the street. I mean, there are the cement mixers from Nikon. They come down very, very fast. And those are full cement mixers. They can't brake fast. It's just it's an accident waiting to happen. A few cameras in strategic locations, I'm sure you'll have many more people terminated because you'll see what goes on. That's all I can say is Put it on film. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Dave Evans on the island at building 455. And I'd like to ask a question about what tends to be somewhat of a lingering matter to some residents who continue to ask these questions. So I would like to ask you, in the context of air quality monitoring, if you could make perhaps a simple statement as to, given these concerns, these lingering concerns, why AQM has been confined to the construction site during the term of the project. Thank you.
Sure. Well, standard practice is to monitor the construction site air quality on behalf of the workers who are on the site, which is very important to us, but also in order to protect the public that is walking around the site. And so we have air monitoring where we monitor the particulate level as it goes onto the site and as it goes off the site. And that's the data that we put up on our website. As for monitoring off the site, we've talked about this many times in this context and in other contexts, and it's not an issue that's unique to Roosevelt Island. The issue is that as you get away from the site, the traffic and any of the other things that are associated with the site really become a very minor piece of the overall air quality picture. Just to give you an example, the EIS, and I'll go back to the EIS numbers, identified at the peak day of deliveries to our site, there would be 67 truck vehicles delivering on a single day. Roosevelt Island, Main Street, has about 3,500 vehicles going down it every day. So even if we achieve that 67 per day, which we have not, we're only at about 30 or so, it's still about 2% or less of the overall number of vehicles that are traveling down Main Street. I think what we've said all along is that air quality is a regional issue. The city has done testing citywide as part of Plan YC. They did in 2009 or 10. They did citywide testing of the air quality in various different neighborhoods. They did not test Roosevelt Island. So there is not a baseline for what the air quality is on Roosevelt Island. So we, as future residents of Roosevelt Island, will advocate with you for air testing and for the ability for Roosevelt Island to understand what the air quality is here relative to the rest of the city. But it's not as a result of the construction or the work that we're doing. It's as an overall regional issue. I know people don't like that answer, but that's where we are.